Hey everybody, this is ChocolateFrogs here with BZPower, here with a first look at a new Bionicle set for next year. It is Kopaka and Melum in a Unity set. Be sure to also visit BZPower for a full text review of this set and some in-depth pictures. Visit us for reviews, news, and the forums, and check us out on Twitter and YouTube as well. This set is 71311, and it has 171 pieces in it and retails for $30. It's the only way to get Kopaka and Melum. You can't get them separately. Kopaka is, of course, now dubbed the Uniter of Ice, and Melum is the Creature of Ice. The box art, of course, shows us some nice flashy pictures of both Kopaka and his Uniter, and then down here we have the set of them combined. Fun fact, it looks like this is backwards. The eyepiece is on the wrong side of Kopaka. Well. And then on the back, we have some action poses. We can see what Melum can do. We see the Gatling gun on Kopaka, and that his waist twist. So that's really cool. It looks like the mask can pop off, just like in the previous sets. And we have a cool comic showing some conflict and some conflict resolution. So, that's the box. Let's see what's inside. Oh, one more note. We have the cool mask up there as well. So, we'll see that later in one of the other sets too. Let's check out the special pieces we get. So there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of new pieces with Kopaka here. Some of these are old molds and new colors. Some of them have been out for a while, but we haven't had them in Bionicle sets. Some of them just look cool and are worth mentioning. And these are not all of them. You know, we get a couple, we get 4 of these shell parts actually. We only have 2 of them displayed here. Well, we'll start with that. It's this gold and trans blue textured armor piece that snaps onto the shell armor. This looks great. I know we get a couple of these in the other sets as well, but they're really stylized. They look great for exactly what we need here. Sort of rocky, crystallized armor. Great for the ice. We get some of these big hand, claw, fist things in white. I don't think we've got them in white before, so that's really cool. We have some of these leg armor bits. They're pretty wide, but they're similar to things we found in 2007 under the water. They sort of clip on like that. We have these limbs and trans light blue. I feel like we might have got these before, but they look kind of new to me in that color. We have couple different panels here, but you only get one in each side. We don't get the opposite side for these, so that's kind of odd. We'll see what we do with that. We get some cool swords. These are not marbled with transparent blue, but it's a solid blue and the solid silver. That's interesting. The picture on the box kind of makes it seem like they would be transparent, and it would kind of make sense given the armor and past history of Bionicle sets, but that's okay. They look really cool. We got some dark blue shell armor. Feels new to me. We get one of these launcher bits in gray. We get some Technic parts. Let's see, in black. That looks new. Both those parts. And then there's this thing, which has the plus in the middle, and then it can hold minifig size things like these horn bits, which I know aren't new, but we haven't really seen these in a Bionicle set before, and I'm glad to have those to add in my collection. We get a gray hand, the new shape. I think that's new. We get some of this armor type in silver. I'm pretty sure that's new to my collection. We get the torso bit here, which has, oh, look at that, Kopaka Nuva's ice symbol. That's super cool. And then that would probably attach to these limb parts we'll see what happens with that, and probably has something to do with this gear part as well. So the instructions will show us all about that. And then we have the masks. We have Kopaka's mask in a white and gray marbled pattern. That'll be interesting for the story reasons behind the grayness there. And the eye socket there is definitely big enough to have a stud put in. That's really cool. And then we get that same shape in gold and the transparent blue. And there's also Kopaka's Nuva's symbol right there. So that's awesome. And then Melum has this sleek, long head bit, gold and trans blue. So we'll have to see what's up with that in the set and in the storyline as well. Those are all the special new pieces I can find. Let's get building and see what this is. Well, here we are, the completed set, which is actually 2 sets. It is, of course, Kopaka and Melum. Melum, not Malum. Definitely not Malum. This is Melum, the little critter, and then the Toa. We have height difference is about half the height of Kopaka. He's got some short, stubby legs and some big digging claws and a nice golden head. And then Kopaka is a full-bodied Toa with a sword and a launcher and the mask. All good stuff. So let's check them out. Starting with Melum here, Melum. We have a couple points of articulation. One is the neck. Head moves up and down. This piece just hooks in with a single socket. There's no head underneath or eye, brain, stalk thing, which is kind of okay, I guess, for depending on what kind of feature they were going for this character. So you can have his head up. You can have him looking down, whatever kind of pose you want. He uses a regular body, torso from the last little guys. His claws are pretty cool. They have that nice armor bit, and they can slash forward, and they have the claws. And it even has a gear function on here, his little tail thing. You can pose his arms ready to strike, and then do this to give him that clawing motion, or a nice big hugging motion, what have you. It does sort of get in the way in stretching out his arms sometimes, because they'll both be stretching at the same time, and you might want to do one pose, but something might not work out. But overall, he looks pretty vicious. You can pose the claws however you want, just like so. And then for Kopaka, he is mostly white with some trans light blue there, and the gold and the silver mixed in, and then quite a few shades of a dark blue. Some spots here on the arms and on his chest armor. Let's start with the newest thing I'd say is that sword. Lego has made a nice hilt right there, which is really cool. We don't really see too many swords with hilts in Bionicle. They just get stuck onto the hand as one single mold. So that looks super cool. The sword itself looks neat with the blue merging into the silver. It's double bladed, so that's great for Kopaka. We usually expect that on him. And then on the other hand, we, as far as expectations go, we expect a shield, and not quite what we get over here. There are stickers to put on there as well, which look kind of cool. I'm always on the fence about stickers, simply because I might want to use the pieces later on. But this actually seems like I might just put the stickers on, because I don't think I'd use these two parts separately unless I got the other halves. So maybe I'll take a picture of that in the text review. We'll see what the verdict on that is later. So he has a tiny shield connected to the Gatling gun. The Gatling gun is the small one we've seen with the protectors from last year. Here we go. 1, 2, see that? That's really cool. We get a couple extra studs here and there, luckily. They snap right in. It's interesting seeing that back on Kopaka. I guess he has a long-range weapon with his short-range sword. So it's a nice little play feature for him. Nothing to shoot at, though, with this set. You'll notice that unlike the other sets with the little guys, the creatures, we don't have one of those Venus flytrap things. That's a small disappointment, because I was really looking forward to getting my hands on some of those parts. Of course, I'll get some of the other creatures, so I'll have them, but it would have been nice to get like a complete creature set complete with the little traps. So that's a small little tidbit. Kopaka here on his legs uses some of the new armor, both down on his thighs and his shins. There is a reload or a spare launcher stockpile right here that's attached to his leg. So that's really cool. And then you'll notice there's a lot of Technic build features on Kopaka here. Let's start off with the arms. We have a couple Hordika necks. No, sorry, those are from a couple years later. But we got some of those in the straight type in black, built on with the armor and then attached to the limb. And I was a little apprehensive about that, just seeing it on the box, but having built it, it's pretty full. It's really solid. The silver armor looks great on there. It's a little unarmored right there, and I feel like they could have put something there, maybe a throwbot foot or something, just to build that up a bit. And then it articulates right on the shoulder there. So it's an interesting build, because his shoulders are going to be more than 5 studs wide in theory, but the articulation there is 5 studs wide. So it gives him a strange feel, but it doesn't harm the set. You don't have his shoulders bumping into his mask or anything like the Liwa set had as a problem last year. It's not too bad. It's a nice aesthetic in the end. And you'll see here on the armor underneath, we have a rad Technic build right there. A new torso piece, of course. Some armor saved on there. The hands right there. And then on the back, we have some armor and some Borak eyes just to round out his torso so it's not all bony. And then you'll notice here on the back we have a gear function, which, nope, that's not right. Let's hold the legs, and there we go. We turn the gears, and he has an attack function. So you can stab with his sword and then block with his shield, and stab with his sword and shoot off with his gun, and that's pretty clever. Once again, the set has nothing for him to attack, so we'll see what we do with that. The eye stalk here is shorter than before. I don't know if I mentioned that in my new pieces. It must have been hiding when I was reviewing things. It's shorter, so I guess it might be a little harder to accidentally knock it off, which maybe was a problem from last year. But it still has that function, the intended function of knocking off the mask. Again, no bad guys in the set to knock it off, what have you. All right, that's about it for Kopaka. Let's take a comparison look at the masks first before I take anything off. We have one eye feature versus the classic 3 on the old mask. Otherwise, they do try to keep it pretty close to the original. We have some of the holes down next to the mask, next to the mouth right there. Oh, there's a second hole right there as well. But it keeps the overall shape mostly. It pays a really good tribute to the original from last year, so that's also good. Now, when you level up and you get your gold mask and you get your buddy Melum at your side, the two of them can combine to form a uniter combo, which was, of course, what happened last year too with the little guys. But you got to take a couple parts off to do that. This time around, you just position the arm so they don't get in the way, and the head. He sticks onto the back. You put him up however you want. The head comes down over the top of the head, sort of brain link or something, and then the arms can go on top of the armor like that to sort of shield him a bit more. And you have a united Kopaka and Melum fighting together, not side by side, more like back to back or what have you. And they are powered up for whatever kind of evil comes their way. So that's pretty cool. It's nice and simple. You just snap it on and you're good to go. And so there you go. That's what it looks like on the back then. Just sort of piggybacking. Yeah, that's about it. As I said, I'm disappointed we don't have another bad guy. Luckily, the arms aren't too bad, unlike the box picture. The little guy is really neat. This set comes with both, so it's a 2-in-1, so that's a neat part about it. And yeah, the play feature, the gear function with the Melum. You have the attack function with Kopaka on the waist. First time we've had an articulated waist in some sets, I believe. And he just looks cool. You know, he doesn't really have a big shield, but the sword makes up for that, and he has a couple other features which make him stand out. And I love the armor. I love the new blended armor, the trans blue and the gold. One final quip would probably be about the price. Let's see. It runs $30, and it has, the Toa and the creature. But Kopaka doesn't feel like a $20 set. He's not all bulked up like he was in last year's $20 set, which deserved that price point. And while all the other creatures are $10, they all have that Venus flytrap contraption, and he doesn't. And it's kind of annoying because that's one of the great reasons to buy the creatures, to have a couple of those pieces to add to your collection and your scenes. So maybe a $25 set, $23 set. $30 just seems like they're stretching it a bit for what we get here. You be the judge on how much you'll spend on this, but it does seem kind of disappointing. That's about it. It's really cool that he has the Nuva symbol on his chest and on the mask, and he's got a bunch of new parts, so that's always a plus. And we got another Kopaka set. We have another Bionicle sets for another year, so can't really complain about that either. Of course, a special thanks to LEGO for sending us these sets, and please check out BZPower for the text review. Let's see, yeah, and check out BZPower for more our forums, for our Twitter, for our YouTube, everything we do there. This is Chocolate Frogs. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.